All right, as we mentioned in the last segment, Google's expanded into energy. It's investing in solar and wind farms, $6 billion apparently today in wind. These are just a few examples of the company going beyond search. Things like a new consumer price index. And, this is just the tip of the iceberg. They even have a car, apparently a robotic car, which you may have seen. So let's talk about whether they're overextending. Market Paikonen is Wedge Partners Managing Director. Lou Kerner is Wedbush Securities Internet Social Media Analyst. Great to have both of you with us. Lou, are they overextending?
Well, look, I think to the degree that they're performing, I don't think that investors are going to focus as much on the areas where they're spending that investors really don't want to invest in. It's when they start underperforming that investors are really going to start to care about, the billions of dollars they're investing outside of their core business.
Martin, is this a sign that the company has lost its way? We dominate search, but that's not good enough for us. The grass may be greener, literally, here or there.
Yeah, I mean, some of these are very admirable from a U.S. citizen standpoint, but, I think it is drifting a little far. I don't think it's so much a substitute for search, and actually I think one thing that's important to point out is it's not so much people that they're dedicating to these projects as the dollar cash flow. But I would rather see them, they've always spent 10% in sort of fledgling long-term projects that are closely related to the internet, media, and entertainment. I'd rather see them do more of that.
I mean, Martin, this is coming at a time when, a lot of advertisers have said here on this show that they're now advertising on Facebook, and a lot of people go into the internet via Facebook. That is clearly competitive for Google, whether they want to admit it or not. Are you confident that they're investing in making sure that they don't become obsolete?
Well, I think with Facebook, there's a couple things to keep in mind. It's clearly a juggernaut from a traffic standpoint, membership worldwide. But keep in mind, that's a different kind of experience. People are communicating through Facebook with Google, with search and other forums. You're actually looking for information, so it's a very different forum. One area that is kind of a sleeper here, Google's going to do a lot better, I think, in display advertising, which Yahoo previously was a big player. They'll actually be serving a lot of ads onto Facebook through their display platform. So, I think there's a lot of pieces moving here. I'm not totally worried about Facebook relative to where they're spending the money, but clearly they're going to keep their eyes on the ball.
Lou, what about another announcement today? Microsoft said it's launching a test search site, ETAW, E-T-A-W, with Alibaba in China. Alibaba is obviously a well-known company in China. We all know Google, with a great fanfare, got out of China and now is back in. But is it possible that they could even lose to a company like Microsoft, which is widely seen as a lumbering loser these days?
Yeah, the problem for Google in China is certainly not Microsoft. It's Baidu and the Chinese government. They're the ones that, the government is really tilting things in favor of Baidu. And that certainly created some headwinds. I actually disagree with Martin. I actually believe that that Facebook presents, very clear competitor to Google in terms of search. And in terms of what Google does is it drives traffic to websites. And Facebook, largely today through the news feed, is already driving more traffic to sites like YouTube, which is, the third most traffic website in the world. It's driving the same amount of traffic to Yahoo today as Google is. So I think it's a real competitor, and that's from the news feed. And I think as the social graph gets more populated, if Amazon, when you purchase something on Amazon, as that starts to go into your social graph, then I think Facebook really starts to be a tremendous competitor to Google.
All right, and quickly, buy or sell it then right now, Martin?
Well, we don't publish official buy or sell ratings on the stocks or price targets. I'm generally favorable what's going on more than on the negative, but there are some caveats, and certainly those are out there.
Lou?
We have a neutral rating on it. We think that those tremendous social headwinds that they're facing from social media are kind of offset by a lot of the tailwinds in terms of the revenue, offline advertising moving online.
All right, so it looks like they had a little bit of room to get into wind anyway, even if it's a whole lot of hot air. Thanks to both of you. We appreciate it.